What's up, y'all? So back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing for weekly automotive mechanical content for the average shade tree mechanic. Alright, so today I am stoked. The day has finally arrived. It's taken about a week, but I finally received my leveling kit. Alright, so just opened it up. UPS man dropped it off about 10 minutes ago, and it's a pretty shitty day outside here in North Carolina. So what I received are two shock boots. They're Overland shocks for the front, and they're 2-inch. Bear with me here. They're 2-inch leveling coils. All right, y'all. So I checked on YouTube. There's no how to install these coils, whether it's a Carli, whether it's a Thuren, a leveling coil install how to. So I figured I'll make one. Bear with me. It's going to be a little longer than usual, but I think it's definitely going to be worth it. So please watch the entirety of the video just so you don't miss any specific points, tips for specific steps. All right, so why I went this route instead of the pucks? Well, the thing is that this truck, already being as heavy as it is, and as it's obviously a heavy duty truck, the suspension is not quite the same as a half-ton truck. Now everyone loves the ride of a half-ton truck, but when you step up into the 3,500 world for heavy duty trucks, the suspension becomes a little harsher, a little more sturdy, right, to accommodate the weight that you're pulling, towing, whether it's gooseneck, fifth wheel, off a ball hitch. Right. You know, it's an expensive truck. I want to put some decent parts on here, parts that'll last and that'll give me a little more plusher ride, and then just look a whole lot better with the 2-inch leveling kit. I was tossing and turning 2-inch, 2.75 inch, but at the end of the day, I wanted just a slight rake. And if I do upgrade to the rear coils, I don't want to throw in 5 or 700 pounds, and then that rear is just sagging way too much. If I did have the 2.75 and it kind of looked broed out, kind of like that Carolina lean look. So I went 2-inch instead of 2.75 inch for those reasons. I'm going with their Overland shocks. Researched a lot about them. Fairly reasonable price, so I went that route, and I can always upgrade to Kings or Reservoir shocks in the future. All right, by no means am I sponsored by Thuren, but if this catches enough wind, I wouldn't mind being sponsored for more parts. Before I get started on the install, what I wanted to show you is the before measurements, so that we can keep track before and then take after measurements after the install. Front driver 40 and a half. All right, front passenger about 39 3/4. Rear passenger 43. Rear driver 43. Just so you know, PSI is all the same on all 4 corners of the tires. All right, y'all, so time for the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and begin the install. I have 2 jacks, both 3.5 ton rated, and so let me go ahead and get under there and show you where to lift and start the install. So I went ahead and jacked up the truck. I have it on 2 jack stands, so let me go ahead and show you where I did that. All right, before I put some chalk blocks, just some 4x4 pieces behind the rear wheels. All right, so here's where my jack stand is resting. There's a small lip that you can actually go ahead and throw in your jack stand. It'll hold it right there in place. Hopefully I got it high enough, but that's where I'm gonna put it, on that lip. Went ahead and took off the wheels. It's a 22 millimeter to take off the lug nuts. And I currently have a jack holding up the, well, pretty much it's just resting right there under the pumpkin front differential. All right, y'all, so next step, go ahead and take that off. It's the top nut of the sway bar. Go ahead and disconnect this brake line bracket right here off of the front axle. All right, and then you're gonna go ahead and loosen up the bottom bolt of the shock. All right, y'all, so the brake assembly, just the brake bracket, it's one 13 millimeter bolt. All right, the top nut for the sway bar end link, this is 18 millimeters. All right, and the bottom bolt for the shock is going to be 21 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen up all those 3. There's another 13 millimeter bolt right here that the brake line's also attached to. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this bolt as well. I'm using just a ratchet, but when I get to the sway bar end link bolts and the bottom of the shock bolt, I'm just going to use my air impact gun. This bolt is acting a little tough. All right, so I used a 8mm socket, put it on top of that bolt, and I'm just using an adjustable wrench and pretty much just going off like this. I put some PB Blaster on as well, just to help it. All right, there it is. Boom. On to the next side. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and took off that bottom shock bolt. I pushed the swing arm up, as you can see. Now all I got to do is just pretty much loosen up these two jacks that are under the front axle. The same positions that you lifted the truck with is the same spots that I'm going to go ahead and lower the axle with. So I got two, one on each side. I'm just going to go ahead and lower it, and the coil should pop out. Dog was whining, so I went ahead and brought her in the garage. All right, so I just wanted to measure the new coils, compare them to the old coils. All right, so there it is right there. It's about 20.5 inches. Old coils, we're looking at right at 16 inches. So I'm going to go ahead from this point, go ahead and throw them in there. I'm going to have to lower the front axle just a little bit more, and I should be able to throw them in. Originally thought I was going to take off the fender well to get on top of that, to get to the top shock bolts, but pretty much what I did was bring out my collection of 1/2-inch drive extensions. All right, I think this is a little overkill. I'll probably need like half of this. I'm just gonna go up from top from the engine bay. I'm just using an 18mm, so go ahead and loosen them up from the engine bay. That'll work too. You probably only need around 16 inches of extension in order to get down there with the 18mm and loosen them up. All right, y'all, so here are the factory shocks. Don't forget to remove this portion of the shock. It stays on top of the tower, so just go ahead and make sure you take that off. You account for all the parts, including the nut. Cut that white strap that's compressing the shock. All right, put the shock boot on. I'm gonna go get some clamps and go ahead and clamp that down later on. But the shock boot fits nice, comes with all the hardware. All right, you got your metal, I guess metal spacer, rubber, and then on top, once you slide that through the hole, all right, another rubber piece, metal spacer, and the nut. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, y'all, so for the top nut of the shock, it says stem top, turn nut until washer is snug, then tighten 2 full rotations. And then when we have to tighten the bottom, the eyelet mount, it's 100 foot-pounds of torque. So don't forget to properly torque these as you're tightening everything up. The driver's side was very easy. It's the front passenger that kind of fights with you a little bit. I think I have to really loosen up the track bar to give us more room so that the front axle can drop a little more. But anyways, I rented one of these McPherson strut spring compressor from AutoZone just in case I needed to compress the strut, and help me get it in there. So that's exactly what I needed to do. It's actually a 19mm for these for the spring compressor. All right, so make sure I aligned it perfectly. There's the Thuren. All right, and so essentially what I'm just gonna do is use a 1/2-inch ratchet, loosen up these. As long as it stays and it's in place, then I'm good to go. All right, so I went ahead and loosened both of the compressors on each side of the coil. It's sitting nice. It's set up to get raised, and those coils will sit nice and tight, but I'll baby it as I raise the front axle. All right, I also took the time to go ahead and tighten the top bolts for the shocks. All right, again, it's there's no torque spec. You just want to make sure it's tight. 2 full rotations once the washer is snug. All right, it's just dangling on the bottom. It's fully extended, so what I want to do is go ahead and raise the front axle just so slightly and pretty much baby it as it comes up, because these coils got to come in nice and tight. One last check, make sure everything is good to go. That coil is ready. So coming to a close, I've been babying it as I've been raising the front axle with 2 jacks. You got to use like a seesaw kind of action, you know, give it 2 pumps on one jack, 2 pumps on the other, just kind of baby itself up, and I checked it every time just so, you know, brake lines don't get caught. The coils are going in nice, and so this coil went in good, plenty of flex, no problems with the brake line. I went ahead and threw on the bottom bolt of the shock and then the washer on the opposite end. Just gotta connect the sway bar, lift it up a little more, and should be good to go. So this coil went in nice. Put the bottom shock bolt in. Brake lines are good, so I'm just gonna lower the sway bar, torque that down. Still gotta tighten it and torque down the bottom shock bolt. All right, so for the shocks, I already mentioned shock mounting bolts, the eyelet, 100 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, 100 foot-pounds, the bottom, and then the radius arm front coils, all the torques that you need on the back of the page. So yeah, factory sway bar end link, 100 foot-pounds. With stem mount through sway bar equipped, turn onto washers, snug, then tighten 2 full rotations. So I didn't read any of the directions other than what I researched online. A lot of information's online on the forums, but I did need to use the torque spec page that it came up with. So let me go ahead and finish torquing it up and raise the jacks and see. Went ahead, torqued down everything that should be torqued down. Everything looks great, everything feels great, everything went in the way it should. All right, y'all, so I am stoked. Truck is fully on the ground. So what I want to do is just do some after measurements. All right, so this one straight up, this is gonna be 42.5. Front driver. Let's move to the front passenger. 42. Rear, 43. Last one, rear driver is 43, right on the dot.
At this point, I would know the difference based off of the last drive that I had this morning. So I haven't gone to bumpy roads. It's pretty flat outside of my neighborhood. So I want to get out a little bit more and get to the bumpy areas. I can tell you right now, it's pulling a little to the left. I don't feel too bad. It still goes straight, but it's easier to go left than it is right. So it's a very slight pull to the left. But like I said, I'm gonna get this aligned, and so it's really not an issue because I know it's gonna get squared away. It's gonna get taken care of when they put it into Thuren specs and whatnot. Let me get to a road where it's a little more bumpy, and then I'll let you know what the difference I feel getting over these bumpy roads with these new coil springs and the overland shocks that I just installed. So I've been driving for a bit. Initial impression is that it eats bumps. That was awesome. I just went over some crazy bumps right there. I do still feel the rear coils. That's where the harshness of the suspension. The rear suspension is still stock, so I would still imagine it to have that harsh, bumpy ride. So I'm gonna do something about that here in the near future. Thuren, if you want to sponsor me and send me a rear coil kit with some overland shocks, that would be amazing. Although I think they don't sponsor or pay for any advertising, so that'd be a change. But yeah, this coil system's awesome. You'd have to experience it for yourself. Very simple install. I took my time. I lost track of how long it really took me, but I like taking my time on these jobs. I do know that the coils are going to change. It should sit a little bit. So that was obviously just the initial impression of the springs and the coils and the shocks. I've only been driving for about a good 30 minutes. I can't wait to get the impression after, you know, I put some 200 miles, a couple tanks on it, well, what the coils actually feel like with some time. Hey, y'all, one thing I almost forgot to mention is that don't forget, you're gonna have to readjust your headlights or you will be blinding some people.
Thuren has specific specs. I'm gonna take it to a shop who already called. They said, yeah, we can do those specs instead of OEM. Okay, so cool. I'm gonna get that done, but it's something that y'all should keep in mind after doing a leveling kit, is getting that alignment. So that's my next step. But, all right, y'all, so I hope you enjoyed the video, watched everything. I tried throwing in a bunch of tips, specific steps that you need to do. I didn't really read the instructions. I've done these in the past. I've dealt with coil springs, and that's why I decided to go the strut spring compressor route. It worked for me. I didn't have to touch the track bar. So yeah, and that's what I wanted. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, go ahead and let me know below. Please let me know what you think of the install. And if you're not a subscriber to my page, please consider subscribing. Until next time, ciao.